Hi sisters, James Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I have something very special planned that I actually don't do very often, and that is a review. I really don't do reviews that often, mostly because I have my favorite products that I like to stick to in every single makeup look, but also when it comes to reviews, people love to share their opinions, and if you love a product, you're eating somebody's ass or you're being paid to do so, and if you hate a product, you're jealous or you're angry because you're not on a PR list or who frickin' knows. Every time I do a review and I read the comments, I can just feel the brain cells being sucked right out of my head, but when I saw this launch, and when I saw the price tag, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about based on the title of the video, I'm talking about the brand new Kylie Cosmetics $360 brush set. I had to show you guys the real tea. I am going to do my entire makeup routine today using the brand new Kylie brushes. I'm going to try to use every single brush in here in some different step of my makeup routine to show you guys if the brushes are really worth the $360. I haven't even started yet, but just going into it, I will tell you guys they're probably not going to be worth it. So I picked up dupes of every single one of the Kylie brushes from Morphe. I'll tell you guys right now, they are much cheaper. So I'm going to be doing one half my face using the Kylie brushes and the other half my face using the same exact brush dupe, and we're going to see which side looks better in the end. Before we get into the full review, I do want to disclose something because this video will not go the way my Fenty Beauty video went. I absolutely love Kylie. She's honestly one of my role models. I think she is beautiful and a very hard-working woman. I am very proud of her and her makeup line. I think it's been absolutely incredible, and she's obviously killing it. Regardless of what you think about her, those are my opinions. You don't have to share them. That being said, I am not on her PR list. I did not get these brushes sent to me early in the mail. I was actually gonna have to wait another 2 weeks to get them and order them, just like everybody else when they went online to the public. But major shout out to my babe, Chris and Dominique, who let me borrow her set early. I'm gonna give these brushes a fair shot. If they are amazing, you will see. If they suck, you guys will definitely see. I really could not care less about the fact that I'm not on her PR list. Like I said beforehand, influencers literally cannot win. I love Kylie, but I'm not on her PR list, so apparently I'm so angry. So hopefully this evens out the playing field so I can give you guys a full, unbiased review. It would have been unbiased regardless, but these comments, whew, they're a lot sometimes. Now that that has all been said, let's jump into the damn brushes. So for the holiday season, Kylie Cosmetics launched her Silver Luxury Brush Set, which is right here. It comes with 16 different brushes, and the set of all 16 retails online for $360. Oh my god. You get all the brushes and a little silver carrying case with them. As you can see, all the brushes have little white hairs. Some of them are duo fiber and some of them are just regular brushes. And apparently Kylie said on Twitter that these are all real hair as well. They are not synthetic, so that means they are, I think, not cruelty-free and not vegan. So if that's something that you are very adamant about, this brush set is probably not the brush set for you. I've talked about this a few times before, but I personally am really not the biggest fan of brush sets. When people ask me what types of brushes to order, I always tell them to go through a website and really pick out brushes that they know they're going to use based on their different steps of their makeup routine. Everybody has different techniques and different brushes that they like to use for different things, and I feel like when you order a brush set, there are always going to be a few brushes in there that you will literally never touch simply because of your personal choices when it comes to makeup, and that is really okay, but it's obviously money down the drain. I will say though, looking at all the Kylie brushes laid down next to each other, there really are not that many brushes that I don't think I would pick up, and I feel like I could get a good use out of all of them, so at least that's a really great thing. If you are someone like me though and don't like brush sets, all the brushes will be sold individually online as well when the full set launches. I'm gonna go through all the individual prices as I go through my makeup routine, but altogether, these brushes equate to $378. And if you buy the set, it takes $18 off and goes to $360. What a steal. On the contrary, I totaled up all the closest dupes I could find from Morphe, and if you order all of these 16 brushes, your total comes to $115, but if you use code James for 10% off your purchase, which you definitely should, it becomes $104, which is $256 cheaper than the Kylie brushes. Now that we have the prices all fully broken down, let's go ahead and start our makeup. On this side of my face, I'm going to use the Kylie brushes, and on this side, I'm going to be using the same dupes from Morphe, and we're going to see which side performs better. Let's go. So to do my foundation today, I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. You guys know this is my all-time favorite. And for my left side of my face, I'm going to use the Kylie brush number 2, which is the large stippling brush. This brush says it is multi-purpose face and body brush, ideal for blending liquid or cream makeup, and it retails for $30. The closest dupe I could find for Morphe was the MB5 brush. As you can see, the color is different, but obviously they are both duo fiber brushes of a very similar shape, and this one is $10. This is definitely an interesting feeling. You guys know that I don't really do my foundation with brushes that often, and also this is a dual fiber brush, so it's really not that dense, which is definitely giving us like light coverage, but Oh, I really like this for the neck because it's so big, so it lets me blend it in easily. That was good, but over the face, I don't know how I'm feeling right yet. For a duo fiber brush, I'm honestly pleasantly surprised with this application. It definitely did a really good job of giving me even coverage all throughout, but I will say that since this is duo fiber, you can obviously see that there's a lot of product in the brush now left over, and it's really not that dense, so I do feel like the coverage isn't as full as normal if I applied it with a sponge. Looking in the mirror, the application looks absolutely identical on both sides. They both honestly did a really good job of blending it out. The coverage is decent. I am going to take a little bit more of that on a beauty blender and apply it to my nose because both brushes did leave my nose a little bit sad, and you guys know that is always a struggle area for me. These brushes both did a perfectly fine job of doing my foundation, except one is $30 and one is $10. In Kylie's line, she does not have a brush dedicated to concealer, and I personally never use a brush when it comes to concealer either. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply my Shape Tape in the shade Light as normal. Before I go in and blend this out, I'm going to cream contour my face today using my Benefit Hoola stick. You guys know that I really don't do this that often, but Kylie does love a good cream contour. So for my Kylie side, I'm going to be using the Kylie Jenner brush number 7, which is the medium stippling brush, and these retails for $22. And on my Morphe side, I'm going to be using the M492, literally the exact same brush, and this retails for $8. I'm going to put this in the hollows of my cheeks, on the jawline, and then in the corners of my forehead as well. Oh. Just like the first brush, as you can see, this is doing a really, really great job of blending everything out. There are no streaky lines and everything is looking really, really seamless. I'm not gonna go over to the Morphe side. So before I actually use these, I thought that these brushes were really, really similar shapes, as you can see from this angle, but if we turn them to the side, the Kylie brush is actually a lot more thick than the Morphe brush. I am noticing right away that I have to blend a little bit harder for the Morphe brush, and this shape is actually, not gonna lie, a little bit better, but then again, $22, $8. Here's the Kylie side, and here's the Morphe side. Once again, application looks exactly the same. I'm just gonna add a little bit of Shape Tape right here to cut the contour, and then I'm going to blend everything out. To set my face in place today, I'm going to be using my setting powder mixture. You guys know this is my all-time favorite. And for my Kylie side, I'm going to be using the Kylie brush number 3, which is the medium tapered brush, which retails for $28. And originally for the Morphe side, I had picked out the M530, but now looking at these, I'm realizing that these shapes are nowhere near similar, so I definitely will take the L on that one. And instead, I'm going to be using the Morphe R3 brush, which retails for $12. You guys know that I usually use my beauty blender when it comes to setting powder, so this is going to be a little bit interesting, and this is definitely a little bit big to be an under-eye setting powder brush, but you know what? We're going to give it a try. The shape of this is very, very round. I would definitely prefer a more tapered brush to do this. Something like this one from Sigma. Like this can really get like right under there, as you can see. But honestly, the fact that this Morphe brush is a little bit more tapered and synthetic, I feel like it's applying the powder better because it is a little bit more dense and kind of packs it in there, whereas the Kylie brush is obviously real hair, so it kind of feels a little bit strange to apply setting powder with. But once again, application looks exactly the same. To set the rest of my face in place, I'm going to be using the Kylie brush number 1, which is the large powder brush, perfect for blending all over face and body powders, and this one retails for a whopping $48. The closest dupe I could find it was the Morphe M424. The shape is slightly different, but they are both huge, dense powder brushes, except this one is $10, so you're saving yourself a whopping $38. I'm just going to take this brush and tap off the excess. Oh my god. Whoa, that actually caught a lot of powder. I'm certainly not mad at it. Let's go ahead and try the Morphe brush. Oh, whoa, once again, picked up a ton of powder. Once again, application looks exactly the same. For bronzer today, I'm going to apply the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm going to use the Kylie brush number 4 on this side of my face. This one retails for $26, and on my Morphe side, I'm going to use my M523, which retails for $15. What I do like about these brushes is that they are pretty dense, so when I go in with like something like bronzer or like a cream contour and kind of stipple it into my face and kind of blend it, it doesn't pick up the product underneath, which is a really, really good thing. I'm going to do the same exact thing on my Morphe side. Once again, application's exactly the same. Next, for a more precise contour, I'm going to grab my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette as always. And on my Kylie side, I'm going to grab my number 5 brush, which retails for $24. And on my Morphe side, I'm going to grab my M405, which retails for $8. And as you can see, these are literally the exact same brush. Just going to tuck that right into the cheekbone. And then same exact thing. I really doubt you can tell on camera, but in person, I feel like I can tell just because I look at my face with makeup on almost every single day. The bristles on the M405 from Morphe are a lot softer, so it's making a much more diffused contour. Whereas on the Kylie brush, the bristles are a lot more dense, which makes it a little bit harder for a diffused application, but to the everyday makeup person, nobody can tell. It looks the exact same, let's be real. Next, I'm gonna apply my blush, which is gonna be MAC Peaches, my all-time favorite. And for the Kylie side, I'm gonna be using my number 6 brush, which is the rounded blush brush. This retails for $28, and on my Morphe site, I'm going to use my G1 brush, which is the closest dupe I could find. This one is $8. Now looking at these, obviously this is a synthetic brush, so I would really never use this for blush. This is definitely more of like a buffer brush for like blending in foundation, but you know what? Sister Kylie says it's for blush, we're going to use it for blush. Oh, yeah, I do not like that. I would just never reach for this shape or type of brush when it comes to blush application. I usually use my E4 brush, which as you can see is very, very soft and angled, so it lets you get a very, very like diffused light wash of color. This is very, very dense, so I'm very spooked to try out the G1. Oh my god. Kylie side, Morphe side, it certainly doesn't look bad. I would just literally never reach for those brushes when it comes to blush. Once my contours are all in place, I'm going to bake my face as usual using my beauty blender. While I'm baking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and quickly do my brows off camera, then I will come back for the cleanup process. Kylie did not release any angled brushes, so I'm just going to use my brow pencil and I will be right back. Alright sisters, back to business. I'm going to grab my Tarte Shape Tape as always, my Kylie brush number 14, this one is $18, and my M224, $3. You guys know that I usually do my concealer application using a flat top concealer brush, so I really don't think that I'm going to enjoy the application on either side, but the brush did fine. To set my eyelid concealer in place and prime for eyeshadow, I'm going to use my Kylie number 10 brush. This is $20 and is the large shader brush, although it is super, super dense. This is literally not an eyeshadow brush. I don't know what she thinks she's doing calling this a large shader brush. Trying to get this to put any eyeshadow on the eyelid and make it like any sort of defined or blended out, it's not happening. I really do like the shape and density of this brush for packing on translucent primer to the lid, but this is classified as a large shader brush and I would literally never use this for any sort of shading on the eyeshadow. So I think this would be one of the brushes that, like I said, is useless to the set. For the Morphe side, I'm gonna grab my M524 brush, and this one is $6. So you're saving yourself $14 just to set your frickin' eyelid concealer in place. I want to do a very Kylie eye look today, and I do have a red carpet later on, so I don't want to do anything too intense. I'm going to grab the MAC Cosmetics X Patrick Star Eyeshadow Quads. I am so happy and proud of Sister Star for these amazing collaborations. They are so dope, so I'm just going to be doing a fun eye look with these today. For a transition shade, I'm going to dip into this light brown shade in this quad with my Kylie number 15 brush. This is the tapered blending brush, and it is $20. And on the Morphe side, I'm going to do the same exact thing using my M513, and this one is $6. Oh, whoa. Okay, not gonna lie, this feels really, really nice on the eyelid. Next, I'm gonna dip into this shade right here using my Kylie number 12 brush. This one is $20, and I'm going to use the exact dupe, which is the Morphe M433, which is $6. Interesting. Even though these brushes are two very, very similar shapes and sizes, the Kylie brush actually doesn't really taper out on the top. It kind of stays the same density, whereas the Morphe brush does taper out a little bit more. So I think in this scenario, I do prefer the M433 from Morphe, simply because it allows for a much more blended application. I'm next gonna dip into this brown shade using my number 13 brush. This is the small shader brush, and it is $18. And on the other side, I'm gonna grab my M153 from Morphe, same exact shape. This one is $2. I'm just going to pack the shade right on that outer V to deepen out that edge, and then pull it slightly into the crease. Same situation with this lash brush. As you can see over here, it kind of looks a little bit unblended. That's because the top edge doesn't taper off at all. It's actually more of a rounded thing, which makes it really, really hard for a precise application in the crease. I'm going to go over those edges to make sure they're really blended out using my number 11 brush from Kylie, which is $16. It is this angled blending brush. I personally hate these brushes and think there's literally no point to them. They do absolutely nothing, but just for the sake of it, I do want to use all the brushes. And for the Morphe dupe is my M516. This one is $6. For my eyelid, I'm going to grab the Kylie concealer brush. This is the number 14 brush that I used for my brows earlier, and dip into this shade right up in here. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a spritz with some Fix Plus, and then I'm just going to pack this right on the inner eyelid. I know this is a Kylie review, but wow, Sister Patrick snapped on these shadows. These look so good. For my lower lash line, I'm going to dip into that same warm brown shade on my number 13 brush and also my M153 brush, and I'm going to use this to define it. Oh, that was way easier with that brush. And then finally with my number 12/M433 brush, I'm going to dip into the original transition shade and just go right over that bottom edge. Alright sisters, off camera I quickly just went and applied some winged liner on both eyes to snatch up this look. Popped on some lashes. These are the New Balance Dragon Lee Minis, and then of course some mascara to blend them together. Looking in the mirror, this eye look is beautiful. Sister Patrick, you killed it with this collection, but that is not the focus of this video. Let's be real, both of these eyes look exactly the same. Let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the face. I'm going to grab both my big powder brushes and brush away the bake. Before we highlight, I'm going to give my skin a quick spritz of my MAC Fix Plus, just to kind of meld all of those powders together, because let's be real, we definitely have a lot on today. For highlighter on my Kylie side, I'm going to grab my number 8 brush, which is the small fluff brush, and dip into my Anastasia Still Hollywood Illuminator. You guys know this is my all-time fave, and this one retails for a whopping $22. Gonna give this a slight spritz as well, and pop this right on the cheekbone. Oh, whoa. Okay, obviously this is doing a really great job of applying a blinding highlight. I mean, damn. I will say though, once again, this brush is not really tapered on the top. It is kind of more like slightly rounded, almost even flat, and it is pretty dense. So it's definitely not like blending it out as much as I would love it to. On my Morphe side, I'm going to grab my R31 brush. This one is a total of $5. Once again, giving it a light spritz and then popping it on the cheekbone. Yep, same exact glow. You guys know when it comes to highlighting my face, I usually will reach for like an M501 brush. Obviously the shape is very, very different, but I am going for exact dupes today. I do wish this brush was more tapered like this one for a more precise application, but you know what? We can't always get what we want in life. I'm going to go back into my Kylie number 5 brush and just make sure that my contour and highlighter are nice and blended together and not looking too intense. And same exact thing on the Morphe side with my M405. Next we have the number 9 brush, and the dupe I have for this is the Morphe 301. You guys know that I really am not the biggest fan of fan brushes, especially when it comes to highlighting. I just don't like the application. Regardless, I'm going to use it today just for the sake of the video. This one is $20 and this one is $5. I'm going to dip into the slightest bit of Artist Couture Illuminati and just place that right on the high points of my highlighter. I feel like that did nothing. Once again, I feel like that did nothing. Can people just stop making fan brushes? Literally. This has been a PSA. James Charles hates fan brushes. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Kylie brush number 16. This is a tiny pencil brush. This one retails for $18 whopping dollars compared to the Morphe M431, which retails for $5. As you can see, they are both tiny pencil brushes. I will say that the Morphe one is a little bit more tapered, so that is my fault, but let's be real. Based on a trend of all the brushes we've tried so far, they're gonna perform exactly the same. For my inner corner, I'm gonna be using one of the Tarte Chrome Pots, and this is the shade Top Yacht. This is a trick that I tried a few days ago, and I absolutely loved how it looked. This is just so bright and blinding, and of course, I'm using my Kylie number 16 brush. I'm gonna spritz it the slightest bit and just pop it right on in there. Oh, you see how bright that is? Oh my god, this is literally the best pigment ever. It's so freaking pretty. Hello? Alright guys, I just went ahead and threw on a lip quickly off camera. This is the Ultra Liquid Lipstick in the shade Mocha, and that completes this look. As you can see here, we have the Kylie brushes side totaling at $360, and on the other side we have Morphe brushes totaling at $104. Now that my face is all complete and I've used every single one of these brushes from both collections, let's go ahead and spill the tea. Once I saw the Kylie brushes online, let's be real, we were all shook as hell by the price point. $360, especially for a new brand like Kylie, is way, way too high. That being said though, almost every single product she's released in the past has been pretty good. Like I said, I'm not on her PR list, so everything that I've tried from her has been personally bought from me, not being paid to say anything, but it is pretty good stuff, so major props to Kylie for that. Based on Kylie's past product history, going into this, I really didn't think the brushes were going to be bad at all, and let's be real, they really weren't. Most of the brushes did exactly what they were supposed to do, and one of them, being number 7, in my opinion, even performed better than the dupe from Morphe. On the other hand, however, there were a few Morphe brushes that, in my opinion, outperformed Kylie, mostly being the eye brushes. A lot of the blending brushes, specifically number 12, did a really great job at packing the color on there, but I will say that I wish they were more tapered. All the tops of these brushes are very rounded, which is great. However, they're very dense at the top and don't really taper out, which makes it a little bit harder to get a more precise application, especially when it comes to crease work. Overall, would I recommend the Kylie Cosmetics Silver Luxury Brush Set? Absolutely not. The brushes all did exactly what they were supposed to do and applied the makeup perfectly fine, just like normal. None of the brushes are fraying and they are really good quality. I just don't think it's worth the price point. I really just can't justify spending $360 on a brush set when there are brands out there like Morphe making the exact same dupes for way cheaper. I mean, literally, I think the cheapest Morphe brush was $2 and the cheapest Kylie brush was $18. I mean, there's even like BH Cosmetics out there where you can literally get the same exact brush set for $15. Don't get me wrong, I really love Kylie, but that's literally some people's entire like house payment or rent payment or car payment. Like, that is just way too much. It is not like these brushes are literally doing our makeup for us or face tuning our photos after. I'm not gonna tell Kylie how to run her brand because clearly she's doing a perfectly fine job all on her own. She made almost $500 million last year, literally a living legend, but I do wish she would make her prices a lot more affordable so more people could get them and not just beauty gurus. All that being said though, if you are a huge Kylie stan like myself and you want to support her on this brush launch, at least you know you're getting good quality brushes for your money. Alright guys, and that is all I have for this video today. Definitely give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment down below and tell me which side you think looks better. In my opinion, they look exactly the same, but who knows? Maybe you guys are seeing something that I'm not. What's the tea? Are you gonna buy the Kylie brushes? Definitely let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget, every single day leading up to Christmas, I am doing 12 days of Sister Christmas Give-a-Slays on my Snapchat story. Make sure you add me over there at James Charles with an extra S after Charles. Thumbs up this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and leave me a comment down below telling me your name, your age, and what you want for Christmas, and you will automatically be entered to win. Every single prize package and winner will be announced on my Snapchat story, so don't forget to add me over there. If you'd like to follow me on my makeup journey, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. They are both just James Charles, and my Snapchat is, well, I just told you twice. This week's sister shout out goes to Sister Nancy. Thank you so much, baby, for always following and supporting. You know I love you so much. And if you would like to be the next video sister shout out, make sure to always retweet my video links and they go live on Twitter. Alright, sisters, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you so much. Bye!